Welcome to the channel, guys. In this episode, I'm going to talk about the top 5 reasons why you do not ever want to move to Maine. If you've been looking at Maine to relocate to, maybe move across country to, heard all these good things about Maine, I'm telling you guys, you might want to watch this video first because there are 5 very strong reasons why you don't want to move to Maine. So if this is of interest to you, if you're thinking about coming here, watch this video and we'll get after it right now. All right, guys, welcome back to the channel here at Live Life in Maine. If you've never met me, you've never seen any of my videos, my name is Scott Tebow. I am a realtor broker with eXp Realty. I've been in this business now, the real estate game, the real estate industry, as a consultant, as a realtor since 2013. I've also flipped properties. I've also owned multiple properties. I've also consulted on construction management. I helped develop a mill right here in Biddeford, a 1 million square foot mill, turning something old into new again. So I've been in the industry, in and around the industry for the better part of like 25 years. I'm 57. I don't make any bones about it. I think the older you get, the more experience you get. You don't have the luxury of time, as some of us do that are much younger, but you do have the luxury of experience. More importantly than any of that, guys, I'm a husband, father of 5. It's hard for me to say this, but grandfather of 3. I just don't feel like I'm that old, but I guess I am. I'm a veteran, I'm a patriot, and I'm a son of Maine, somebody who was born and raised here. I've lived here almost my whole life. Went out right out of high school, went away for about 8 to 10 years. Some of that was in the military, came back. I've been back ever since. And guys, I'm getting a lot of text, emails, and Zoom calls actually on people looking to relocate here or want to talk to me about selling their property here and either downsizing, upsizing, or making a change, maybe becoming a snowbird and only living here half the time and living the other half someplace that's a little bit warmer, although Maine's winters haven't been too bad, at least in the last 5 or 6 years. It seems like climate change is definitely something that's happening. I don't know if it's a good thing or bad thing. I don't think they've been able to track it long enough, but I digress. In this video, like I said in my monologue, I'm going to talk about the 5 reasons why you do not want to move to Maine. And this is going to be a little different twist because normally you see me talking about why Maine is such an awesome place to live and why you want to move here. But in this video, there's actually 5 reasons why you don't want to live in Maine. And we'll get into it right now. Number 1, safety. I know. But listen, if you enjoy and thrive off the sound of gunfire at night, if sirens help you soothe the sleep, if you crave watching fights in parking lots because somebody looked at somebody's girlfriend the wrong way, Maine is not for you. Maine typically is one of the top 3 safest states in the country. It's either us, New Hampshire, or Vermont, right up here in the upper northeast corner. We're in the top 3. Sometimes we're first, sometimes we're second, sometimes we're third. I don't know if we're third or second right now. I haven't really looked, but we're always in the top 3. People are going to actually say hi to you, not what the hell are you looking at. You're not going to have to worry about carjackings. No crazy headlines like, man punches Muth over a meth dispute. You're not going to see anything like that. Life is peaceful. It's too boring. So if you're an adrenaline junkie, you don't want to move here. You might end up calling, as an example, you might end up calling the police because somebody gave you a compliment, and you're going to feel weird about it because here in Maine is simple, and we're one of the safest states in Maine, in the country. So do not, I repeat, do not move here if you're an adrenaline junkie, if you like kind of seeing chaos and the sounds of sirens and gunfire and all that put you to sleep, because you'll have a hard time sleeping here in Maine. You really will. Number 2, the environment. If you like a little texture in your air, you like drinking water that kind of tastes like pennies, you're not going to find that here in Maine. Here, you can drink right out of the tap. I mean, I literally drink right out of my garden hose sometimes when I'm doing outside work or whatever. I'll just turn on the tap, turn on the garden hose, let the water run a little bit because you might have some spiders or something that's crawled up in the hose if you haven't run the water for a bit. But let the water run for a little bit. It gets good and cold, and then drink right out of the garden hose or the tap. There's no warning labels. There's no boiling advisories. Boil water before drink. Air smells like the trees. It doesn't smell like anything else. It kind of smells like trees to me. There's no diesel smoke, no mystery haze, nothing like that, right? And here's the funny part. Like, I just took my dog for a walk yesterday around at a campsite, at a campground that we're at, and there's ducks in the middle of the pond, and they're looking at me, and I'm wondering, they're probably saying to themselves, I'm thinking they're looking at me because I have my dog on a leash, but I think they're looking at me because I was drinking a bottle of Poland Spring water, a plastic bottle of Poland Spring water, and they're probably saying to themselves, that idiot, why is he drinking water out of a plastic bottle? Don't you know you can drink it right out of here, out of this pond? The water's so clean. So you don't have to worry about smokestacks, no polluting air. If you enjoy smog alerts, if you enjoy the toxic fumes, guys, do not move to Maine because you're not going to have that up here. You're really not. If your lungs need a little bit more, thickness to the air, and you need to work on coughing up a lung and getting, that heavy feeling on you, then don't move to Maine because literally you can do this. If you do a breathing exercise here in Maine, in other words, breathe in real deep, hold it for 2 seconds, breathe out real deep, right, till there's nothing there. Hold it for 2 seconds. And you do that for 10 times, you're going to start to feel a buzz because you're going to over-oxygenate your brain and you're going to start feeling a little lightheaded. But it's a great way to go to sleep. Number 3, the third reason why you definitely do not want to move to Maine is traffic. Look, guys, if you like listening to a Joe Rogan podcast on your way, all 3 hours of it, all the way on your commute to work, don't move to Maine. I mean, you're going to be to work before Joe convinces somebody to try elk meat and some different type of psychedelic energy drink, right? You're just not going to have time enough to listen to that podcast. You're just not. In rush hour here, now I will digress. I can't even speak. We do have traffic in the summertime. If you're looking to go up what we call down East Maine, up Route 1 to Bar Harbor, then you might be able to listen to a whole Joe Rogan podcast for 3 hours or read your favorite novel because in the summertime, Route 1 is crazy busy with traffic going from kind of the Bath, Brunswick area up to Booth Bay Harbor and up to Bar Harbor and then, all the way up to Acadia Park and maybe up to Canada. But outside of that, what we call a traffic jam is like a farm tractor moving hay across the road, right? Like I said, you won't be able to read a book. You won't be able to finish a novel. You won't have to worry about planning bathroom breaks on commutes because you'll be wherever you need to be pretty much in 20 minutes unless you're going on a long road trip. Maine is a pretty big state as it goes for New England. It's the biggest state of all. It's bigger than all the other New England states combined except if you take off Cape Cod. If you leave Cape Cod, then the other 5 New England states are bigger, but chop off Cape Cod, Maine is bigger than all the 5 New England states. So it does take 6 to 7 hours to get from one end to the other. But you're not going to have to worry about gridlock and stuff like that. You're not going to have to worry about if you thrive like on the honking and the frustration and the universal sign with the middle finger, then Maine is really going to disappoint you. And you do not, guys, I repeat, you do not want to move here. Number 4, noise. It does get noisy in Maine, but it's a different kind of noise. So if you love ambulance sirens at 2 a.m., soothed by construction noise, hate silence, hate being alone with your thoughts, you're going to hate Maine because here we don't have traffic noise. We don't have dump trucks backing up. Beep, 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 beep. We have no revving of motorcycles at 1 a.m. On occasion, you might find a young whippersnapper, right, late teens, early 20s that thinks he's cool. But for the most part, you're not going to hear any of that. Instead, this is what you are going to hear. You're going to hear birds chirping in the morning, and they can get loud. I don't even wake up to an alarm clock anymore because nature wakes me up with the birds. Or at night, you're going to have to I have to put on white noise because the crickets get pretty loud, especially if you're by water, and especially in the spring. The crickets are pretty loud. It drowns out everything. So the crickets get pretty loud. And the frogs, whatever frogs do, but that frog noise, you're going to hear, especially if you're around water, right? You're going to hear those frogs, you're going to hear those crickets. But you're not going to hear any of that other stuff. It's actually pretty tranquil if you just sit back and zen in it. So it may force you to confront your own thoughts, and we know how dangerous that might be without being distracted by the chaos around you. So be prepared. If you're going to move to Maine, you may be alone with your thoughts, and maybe that won't be a good thing, so maybe you don't want to move here. And number 5, guys, here's the biggest thing. There's too much nature. There's really, if you grew up in the world of concrete, asphalt, the urban grime, you're not going to want to live in Maine. I remember going to New York City years ago when I first went to New York City, and I came out of Grand Central Station off the train, and I looked up, and I couldn't tell where the sun was, right? I didn't know east, north, south, or west. And here in Maine, if I ever get lost, I just looked for where the sun is, and I know what direction I'm in. I couldn't do that in New York City because the skyscrapers drowned out the sun. I didn't know what direction was. That, if you enjoy that, if you enjoy being surrounded by millions of people that don't know you, complete strangers, Maine is going to be a nightmare for you. I mean, here we have mountains, we have forests, we have beaches, clean beaches too. More lakes than parking lots, more trees than traffic lights, more stars than cell towers. If you hate wide open spaces, fresh air, natural beauty, you're not going to fit in here, guys. You're just not. You're going to hate Maine. You're going to miss that smell of dumpster juice in the morning. You're going to miss the smell of raw garbage. It's a slippery slope, guys. It really is. So be careful if you're thinking about moving here, because a lot of that stuff you're not going to get here in Maine. You're just not. So don't move to Maine on those 5 things. If you don't like safety, if you don't like traffic, if you do like traffic, if you love the sound of noise to drown out your thoughts, if you like concrete and stuff like that, those are the 4 reasons. What's the other 5th one? What's the 5th one? Oh, the environment, right? If you love textured water or textured air, or water tasting like pennies or something just not natural, then don't move here because you will be miserable. And I'm just trying to save you some hard luck that you're going to run into. All right, guys, in all seriousness, no state is perfect. No state is perfect. It just says, and I've been to a lot of them, none of them are perfect. Is Maine perfect? Not. The biggest 3 challenges that I see in Maine, in all honesty, is our taxes are getting kind of up there, right? We are getting high in taxes, and that's got to change. I'm going to make a political statement now, and I may lose some of you, but I'm okay with that. Our governor feels like it's okay for biological males to play in girl sports. And somebody who has 4 daughters and a son, not cool. I don't think that should be allowed. So our governor thinks it's okay for biological males to play in female sports. Our taxes are getting kind of high, and while I think this is a good thing, it does get kind of chilly up here, right? It's not, you're going to get, sometimes you're going to get in the 20s or in the 10s, or you're going to get some snow. So those 3 reasons alone, maybe you don't want to move here. 2 of those 3 reasons, the governor's friggin' policies and our taxes, that's just temporary. Those things are going to change as soon as we get somebody else in office that, has the viewpoint of the majority of the country. But those are the 3 drawbacks to living in Maine, in all honesty, guys. Listen, I hope this information was helpful. if those things aren't going to scare you away, if those 5 things aren't going to scare you away, and you can think about having a quality of life, thinking about making friends. Most people here are pretty nice, are pretty easygoing. They'll bring you blueberry pies when you move into the neighborhood. Just say hi. Most people are like that. I'm not saying it's everywhere in Maine, but where I live and most around us, everybody's pretty friendly. They'll talk to you, just start talking to you at a Home Depot or whatever. So take it for what it's worth, guys. But if you're not afraid of those things, then you know what? You probably should book a Zoom call with me if you're thinking about relocating here, because I can help you relocate. I've helped a lot of clients off YouTube do that. If you're not going to relocate in my area, which is kind of southern Maine, which is where I live, and you're going to relocate somewhere else in the state, then I can help you with that too. I have partners, and I'm involved in the process the whole way. Sometimes it just doesn't make sense for me to drive 4 or 5 hours when I can have somebody else show your property or do a video, Zoom video on the property to get to see what it looks like. But I can help you. So, and if you're looking to sell, either downsize or upsize or move away, guys, and I do that too. I'm kind of a double agent because I know both sides of the equation. It helps me on both sides of the equation. I know what sellers, when you're going to go sell, I know what buyers are looking for, and when you're going to buy, I know what sellers are going to be looking for to make your offer competitive and to stand out. So book a Zoom call with me, guys. Send me a text, send me a call, send me an email. I get these calls, texts, and emails all the time from people just like you looking to move to Maine. Maine's not a secret anymore. We're one of the top moves to states in the country, and it is a pretty awesome place to live. But I warn you, those 5 things, and the biggest thing is, if you don't like being alone with your thoughts, don't move to Maine, because there is a lot of quietness here and peacefulness here. So just warning you. All right, guys, hope this was helpful. Have a great day. Stay safe. Talk to you soon. Scott Tebow over and out. Bye-bye.